Hey guys, it's Rina-Banana Queen. Today we will continue reading The Hated and Loved Klance fanfiction by Scooby-Doo. I can't pronounce the name, but I'll put a link to it in the description. So, if you are just joining us today, the first through 12th episodes I will also link down in the description for you are able to go listen to them, for then you actually know what's going on. Hope you enjoy. Chapter 13, Texts. Lance's POV. The nurse came back in, waking me up and giving me the sign-out sheets. I signed them and handed them back to her, waiting as she unhooked the machine from me and the wires. I sat down beside Keith and watched him sleep peacefully. A few minutes later, the nurse came back telling me it was time to leave. I told her I was staying for a bit and dismissed her. I took out a blue Sharpie and took Keith's arm. Numbers, hashed out numbers, Lance wrote. I wrote. And just to make sure, I took out a piece of paper and wrote my number down against placing on another table. I left $20 with it and a note saying, "Go buy yourself a drink when you get out." I looked back, and the time saying I had woken me up a few hours before school started. Can I not go to school today? I mumbled to myself, and an ambulance drove me back home. Time skip to where he's back home. By the time I was back home, I only had an hour left, so I took a quick shower and got my everyday clothes on, along with my jacket. My bus went by my house, probably thinking I was still at the hospital, so I walked to school. I was halfway there, which was 15 minutes away, and my phone started buzzing. I picked my phone up to see what was happening and see an unknown number texting me. Gay emo. Lance, right? It's Keith. Are you here? Didn't take me a second to even answer. Lancey boy. Yeah, how you feeling? Gay emo. Not so good myself. I'm being released out of the hospital in 3 days. Lancey boy. Haha, cool. Lancey boy. Hey, how come you are not being all dramatic and angry at me? Gay emo. Why? Sorry. Do you want me to? And why would it be angry? Lancey boy. Oh, I thought you'd be angry because I wrote on your arm, but I guess you're nicer than I thought. Gay emo. What? You did what? Lancey boy. Bye. I'm at school. Gotta go. Lancey boy. By the way, love your name. Gay emo. Lance. Gay emo. Wit. Gay emo. The. Gay emo. Fuck. I smiled, feeling buzzed in my pocket and walked by the school. Actually, before I could even place a foot down, the school was crowded by all the girls and some boys. Lance, what happened? Is my bae okay? No, he's my bae. Obviously, he can choose who's his bae. One of the girls smoked, hoping to get my attention. They all looked at me with grins piercing on their face. Even some of them tried to pet talk me. Who's my bae? Simple question, but I could never tell them about. I walked over to Keith's locker, putting my hand on it, a tear falling down my face. I quickly wiped it away and continued walking as a group of girls continued on, giggling at me and asking me questions. This was so annoying, especially at this time. I pulled out my phone, hoping Keith is still awake. Lancey boy. Keith, are you there? I'm being surrounded by girls. So many. Send help. Send me backup. The ambulance. It's where I belong, Gay Emo is typing. Lancey boy. Keith, I know you're there. Lancey boy. It says you're typing. Don't lie. Why are you typing? Gay Emo. Lance, I swear to fucking God. If you don't stop texting me when I'm trying to sleep, I'm literally gonna kill you. So please just let me sleep. I only get 3 days in the hospital. Lancey boy. Are you feeling any better? Gay Emo. I guess so. I just feel a little nauseous, and my chest hurts a little. Other than that, I'm fine. Why are you asking? Lancey boy. Because I'm worried. I facepalm myself, regretting that I had said that, half causing the girls to panic, and the other half fighting over who comforts me. Girls are so weird and possessive. Gay Emo. Oh, cool. Okay. Lancey boy, sorry for making it awkward. See you soon. Feel better. Gay Emo. Alright, idiot. I placed my phone in my pocket, smiling, while heading to class. The girls behind me dramatically cry as I walk in my classroom, and the other two snicker since they were in my class. I sat down beside Hunk, getting millions of questions from him as well. Hey dude, are you okay? Is Keith okay as well? Hunk whispered to me. Oh, yeah, he's fine. Why is everything different? I asked. Hunk took a concerned and back to his pencil and spoke up. Lance, didn't the doctor tell you? Hunk was tilting his head. I'm out of the hospital? Of course, Hunk. I chuckled, but stopped seeing Hunk wasn't smiling or making a comment. Hunk sighed, coughing. Sorry, coughed? I don't know what that word is. Oh well. Turning to me, he opened his mouth with a few times before actually telling me the news. Lance, you were in a coma for a month. Chapter 14. Springrise Visit. Lance's POV. A coma? Is this why every person in the school is crowding me? I thought it was just because I'm popular. But a coma? How did this even happen? Lance, we were worried sick about you. We thought you were gonna die. We kept waiting for you to wake up. We brought you food and snacks, but when we came back, it was left untouched, and you hardly moved. The same went for Keith. Hunk paused for a second, realized it hit him like a gun. Oh my God. Lance, where's Keith? Is he okay? Hunk asked me, shaking my shoulders, and the teacher shushed him and he let go of me. Yeah, he's awake. He's in the hospital. Well, when I woke him up, I answered, holding back my tears, smiling. Hunk smiled, but frowned, wondering if he should speak or not. He left me confused, but I looked worried. But finally, he spoke once again. Well, Lance, Keith, the teacher shushed him again, telling us about a seating chart. The students turned their head back, glaring at us, ignoring us. Wow, 1 minute you showed the fact of everyone's worried, but the next minute they forgot. Me and Hunk apologized to the teacher and continued with our paper. The bell rang, dismissing us from school. I quickly grabbed my things, ignored the bus running to the hospital. Everyone stared at me while I was running to the hospital, and after a good 5-mile run, I made it there. I placed my hand on my knees, trying to catch my breath walking in, and the lady at the counter, she handed me the paper. I signed it as a friend visit to Keith, and luckily he was allowing visitors to his room. Keith stayed still on his bed, looking at all the equipment that was hooked to him. Once I opened the door, he quickly shot his head aside and lowered his head when he realized it was me. Lance, what are you doing here? He questions, full side up. Sorry. Why is it a crime to visit my best friend? I joked around. Why is it a crime I just read that. Haha. No, not if they claim to be your best friend even though they aren't. Keith glared at me. Offended? Here I have many friends, and even friends with nurses already. I laughed at my comment. I can kick you out of my room, right now, Lance. Keith smirked, holding up a button, obviously trying to get my attention. Keith, no, accept my love. I dramatically collapsed at his bed, smirking. Keith moved over the top of the bed and pushed the button. However, instead of being asked to leave or carried away, the back of the bed shot me up in the air. Keith, what the hell? I gasped, trying to catch my breath over what just happened. Keith started laughing so hard he was dying. Oh, I guess I still love these buttons. The only thing I did was stare at Keith's face. He looked so adorable, yet vulnerable. Lance, no. His laughter slowly died, and he wiped his tears and peeked in the corner of his eyes. That was really funny. No, was it really funny? He smiled at me, but we caught a never-ending stare. Well, we felt forced to being pulled together, and we had no control. There were a few inches apart. The door opening and snapped backed us up, literally putting our hands away. The heat rosied my cheeks. I swear I could see Keith as the same. Hey, Keith, how's it going in here? Oh, Lance, you're awake. Shio ran up to me, ignoring Keith. Yeah, apparently no one told me I was in a coma. I crossed my arms, avoiding eye contact with anyone. We couldn't tell you because you woke up so early. Shiro waved his hands in the air. No, I mean the nurse. I corrected him. Maybe Keith could have also told me. I glared towards his direction. I forgot. I woke up a few minutes after you. Keith shorted his heart, beating getting faster but ignoring it. Well, it would have been nice to know I was in a coma. You don't know how it is to feel like you were in a coma for a month. I yelled out, making Keith angrier and snap. Well, at least you didn't know you almost died. Keith shouted with tears daring to fall. Wait, Keith, I tried to speak to him, but it was impossible. I didn't know. I'm sorry. He almost died, and it was all my fault that he almost died. He wouldn't even have been in this situation. He wouldn't have been stuck with my annoying voice, laugh, just me in general. The tears in his eyes were still there, but he didn't let them fall. He looked like he needed someone to comfort him. By the time Keith yelled, everyone was shocked and had left, so it was just me and him in the room. I wasn't the best at comforting, especially if I needed to be comforted too. Keith stared at me with a hateful but saddened face. He was about to yell again, so as a friend, I hated that word. I hugged him tightly, trying to comfort him. I'm so sorry, Keith. I swear I wasn't aware. I would have shut up and known better. I'm so sorry. You're in this because of me. It's my fault, isn't it? I stopped as I choked on my breath, trying to get it back. Lance, he started, but I cut him off. Keith, you almost died. I don't know what I would have done. I'd probably commit suicide if I knew. Keith pulled back and looked at me straight in the eye. Lance, please stop. Don't kill yourself because of me. You're better than this. All your friends love you, especially me. Keith had tears in his face. He looked serious about this. The next thing he did was surprising. He kissed me. Chapter 15. Tacos. Lance's POV. He kissed me. Did he really kiss me? Does that mean he feels the same way? We separated after what felt like an amazing 5 minutes. And it just started with each other's eyes. And we just stared in each other's eyes. When I remembered the scene that just happened, we both turned away from each other, from one another, trying to find words. Keith started, did you? I joined. I didn't. Keith tried speaking again. I tried speaking first. But we both paused at each other, trying to figure out who spoke first. We said in sync. We both thought for a moment and spoke out words. Kissed. We both shouted, ending at the same time. That was weird, I answered. Keith nodded. So you kissed me? I filled in the silence, smirking at Keith. Shut it. Keith glared. Well, I kinda liked it. I smiled at him, blushing. So what? Keith questioned. Oh, sorry. You what? Keith questioned. Yeah, it was my first kiss, surprisingly, and it felt really nice. I answered in confusion. Really? That was my first kiss too, and I'm honestly bad at it, he said nervously, scratching his neck. I think it was hot. I laughed, ruining the sweet mood. You ruined the mood, Lance. Keith laughed, but slightly annoyed. I know. Why do you even like me? I chuckled, looking down at my knees. Who said I liked you? He quickly turned around, facing the wall. The kiss? Obviously. There was a passion and love. Yeah, so what? I like you. Got a problem with that? Nah. I smiled, planting a kiss on Keith's head. I like you too. If you noticed how I acted towards you, you'd notice dum-dum. I flicked his nose, thinking for a second. Can we get some dum-dums? I begged Keith, forgetting he was in the hospital. Keith glared at me, and I face-palmed myself. Lance, I'm in the hospital still, for fuck's sake. Oh, right. What do you want? I asked. Just get me some Taco Bell. I hear they have new breakfast tacos with eggs and bacon and shit. Keith waved his hand off. I nodded and ran to go get my wallet and walked out of the door saying my goodbyes. Taco Bell. At least it was another few miles away, so I peacefully walked. Lancey boy. Hey, I'm at Taco Bell. So you want the new breakfast taco, right? Gay emo. Yeah. Lancey boy. Looks good. I'm gonna get one for myself. I ended up buying a lunch for a family of 20. That's a lot of tacos. I ran back to the hospital, checking with 6 bags of food. So, Keith looked at the bags I had in my hand, holding them in a laugh. I think I got too much. I laughed at the bags. Did they have to shove food inside or something? Keith chuckled. Actually, yeah. They bursted out laughing. I dumped the food on Keith's lap, just as the second bag I already had dumped in other places. Lance, what the hell? Keith snickered, trying to find his food. He finally found one, searching through the last bag, causing me to make a comeback. It's called saving, Keith. Restaurant's food is better than Walmart food. Walmart food. I finally frowned at the other and began eating with Keith. Then I realized it. Why going to be so hard to put the food back in the bag. Keith asked, getting my attention. How are you going to put this back in the bags? I don't know. I collapsed on the floor, making sure I didn't fall in a pile of tacos. Honestly, this looked like you pulled this food out of a magic hat. He pointed at the pile of tacos. You know that it doesn't, well, except I had to pay for all of it. I pronounced. Speaking of, how much did it cost? He asked. I took the receipt and told him it cost about $64.48. Holy shit, Lance, that's a lot. This went wide in surprise. He took a bite of his tacos. Worth it, I said, placing the tacos in the bag carefully. I sighed as Keith thought he'd never be able to ask. Keith, do you want to be my boyfriend? And I'm going to stop here for today because suspense is always the best. I'm going to try to post next week, but next week's when I start school. So let's hope. I'll attempt. And I want to thank you for the support on the last video. It really means a lot. So I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Goodbye. Oh, I almost forgot. Don't forget to comment or just say hi because I always enjoy reading them. They always put a smile on my face. Okay, now goodbye.